Good morning. Hello, Nikki. Good evening in the U.S., but it is morning and pretty nice morning here in Melbourne. Get everything set up and nudged into place as we wait for people to join us. We gonna have some fun this morning, I hope. I will get rid of that. Yeah, so today I was trying to figure out what to do with you guys, and I decided to make one of the cards that we did in my class this week. Well, I did it yesterday, and then Saturday I had another session of it. This is a card. It mostly uses this Floral Essence stamp set, which is part of the Perennial Essence suite. But I am going to pair it up with colors and a little bit of designer series paper out of what is it? Mosaic. Well, it's Mosaic Mood designer series paper, I believe, and yeah, Mosaic Mood Sweet. Yeah, and Mosaic Mood designer series paper is what it is. Hi, Marilyn. And so here's the stamp set, and we're going to use sentiments and these two images, and I will move that out of the way, and I'm going to show you a little bit with this paper. I did the card on my blog earlier this week where I had fussy cut out some images, some of the hummingbirds and a rose or a pair of roses and leaves and then a butterfly. And I'm hoping you can see with the lights and stuff what I was talking about the glossy. You know, not the whole sheet isn't glossy, like the background flowers here are not glossy, but all of the little tiles that make up the hummingbirds are very glossy. Likewise on this sheet, the butterflies and these little bees and the roses are glossy. Not all of the tiles are glossy, but many of them. So it's just really cool paper. Now on this sheet, it is all glossy. And I'm just looking at the replay to see what you can see. And there's, again, a lag. It's not really foil, it's glossy. So it's not metallic. It's like they've done clear embossing powder. Yeah, I think you saw it on this sheet pretty well. And the other side of the sheet, it doesn't have any glossy on it. It's just printed the way it would normally be. Like I've said before, when I first saw it, both up on a display board on stage and in the catalog, I was like, I don't get it. It's okay, not to my taste. But when they gave it to us for free on stage. This one just there are some glossy bits on the little flowers, and then I think this one's really pretty too, and it's got the same kind of stripes as this one, but again, some of them are glossy. Anyhow, it's just much more stunning in person, and there's neat things to be made with it. But for this card, here I'll show you the card, and I cased it from someone. Yes, I liked working with it. It was really easy to fussy cut out images that I used on that card. In fact, I had to go past a couple others to get them. They're really quick and easy because it's not too much detail to cut out. I don't know how it would work on like a scan and cut because of how much other stuff is in the background, and I haven't played with the scan and cut and this to just pick the birds themselves, but like I said, they were easy to cut out with my paper snips, so I didn't worry about it. But here's the card that we did in class and I'm going to make today. And somewhere I can give credit to the right person. When I have it on my blog, I will definitely give full credit. Here we go. Terry Gaines, who I believe is a U.S. demonstrator, made this card, and I just cased it for my class. And there are a couple things that I wanted to show you, and which is why I decided to go ahead and make one for today's live broadcast. It's a pretty simple and straightforward card, so there's nothing innately complex about this particular design, but there are just enough little tips and tricks involved with it that I thought it'd be kind of neat to make it. Yeah, I'll probably have to like grab different things as I'm working here, but I've tried to be organized. So, card base. This is soft suede, just standard card base, and two first layer panels of So Saffron. I'm doing one on the inside with a layer of Whisper White on it, and I'll do that at the end. Strip of the Mosaic Designer Series paper, so it's this paper, and then I just sliced down the strip to get just this row of tiles that I wanted for the card, and we'll do some stamping and punching and die cutting. But yeah, so as we go, let's do some stamping here. I will tell you a few things. I like this set with the punches because a lot of times it means if people don't want to invest in a die cutting machine or don't have one, they can still make some pretty things with dimension and layers. And I'm having trouble talking and thinking what I'm doing. Yes, we do like free, don't we, Nikki? It's not really free. It was included in the cost of registration, right? So this is mint macaron, and we're just going to do two of these. And you notice I've got a fun foam mat under here. You can use a piercing mat from Stampin' Up. And that, I know I've talked about this before, is because the photopolymer stamps don't have a foam cushion the way the red rubber stamps do, and that they don't make as good an impression when they're on the really hard surface without a little cushioning. So that's why we put that underneath. And then the three-petaled flower layer is in soft suede. We're doing two of those. And the way it fits into the punch, you want to have a double petal at the end of at the edge of the cardstock. So this strip, it's what, about 2.5 inches wide? Let's see here. Yeah, 5 centimeters, that'd be about 2 inches, is just perfect. And it's just the width of, a sheet of cardstock, either A4 or letter. Works out just perfectly. And I will grab blends. We do now have So Saffron blends, but these in the Daffodil Delight seemed to work really well because it makes it more like the lighter yellow in here is so saffron, and the darker is darker, and so the Daffodil Delight seems to work great, just right in between. So I'm just going to add some of the darker Daffodil Delight along the petal lines, and then go back over the whole thing with the light. Hi, Sarah. And again, I love the blends. They're so quick and easy. And you could do a whole bunch of fussing around with lots of shading, but a lot of times I find you don't really need lots and lots of detail. It's fun to do sometimes, but for a lot of these, it's very impressionistic. It's my favorite thing. We do want it colored in though. Okay, so now we're going to do some punching. And there are those. And then this leaf punch. Now, and please, Stampin' Up! Has gone back to making multiple sets to go with some of the punches, which is really nice because you can do some mixing and matching and you get more value out of your punches, and I really appreciate that. Okay, there's that stamping and punching, and now I've got a piece here to do the sentiment, and this one says wishing you a beautiful day, and on the set we don't have one that says wishing you a beautiful day. We have wishing you a blissful future, and we have all days are beautiful that begin with you. So I sat there and thought, okay, how do we do this? And what I realized she did was we take wishing you a blissful future, and what she did was she actually cut it in two, which I don't have a problem with. Some people are like, ooh, but that's fine. So I'm going to set aside blissful future and use wishing you a, and I'm going to stamp that on this piece of cardstock. And I'm going to do it kind of lower because of how I'm going to cut it out. There, so there's wishing you a. But then I want beautiful. Now this stamp, I hope you can see it pretty well. This one would be basically impossible to trim up like that. So we are going to do some coloring in with a marker. Don't use your blends for this. You will never get it off without ruining your photopolymer. It won't stamp. You have to use the Stampin' Right markers. And because I have stamped with Versamark on this stamp right when it was a new set, it's just sticky enough. A lot of times the markers ink will just kind of bubble up on the photopolymer, but I've been able to get some pretty good impressions out of it because of the Versamark that was on there first. It seems to help. Yeah, we'll see how clean I got that. I'm just going to huff on it a little bit. Yeah. And see how well I can line that up. Not bad. Not bad at all. Grab my chamois. Now I need to make sure I get all of that soft suede off. It's not even nicely done, so I could mask with a Post-it or something and then lift it off. So, okay, that's clean. Now we're going to go ahead, and you got to be careful because this stamp actually says days with an S on the end, and we are going to use just one day. So just in here on the day. I think that's it. Beautiful. Day. Cool. That'll work. I can see that it's going blurry. I am so sorry. I'm going to just go over and cut it out with one of these framelits. Yep, that's the same size. I need to go one smaller. Just getting it lined up. So you guys still with me? So there it is cut out now with these stitched, nested label dies. Yeah, there's a little bit of, I can see some speckles. I don't know if you can, but I'm just not going to worry about those because it's a handmade card. And we'll glue that down onto the soft suede one. And I'm going to set that aside for right now. So, on this one, the So Saffron layer has been embossed with the subtle embossing folder. And there are some things I wanted to talk to you about that. And I'm going to bring my big shot in to show you in a minute. But, so, you may have realized that Stampin' Up! Has discontinued its relationship with Sizzix and is now got a direct relationship with the manufacturer to make its embossing folders. And they have been, I've used several of the new ones and they have been fantastic. But the new what we used to call the dynamic embossing folders are now called 3D embossing folders, and they are slightly thinner than the ones that Sizzix made. So when we embossed with the subtle embossing folders, a lot of times you could use one acrylic plate on your platform and be fine. Now, on the, sorry, a bunch of things just fell to the floor. On the Big Shot that I use all the time, because I use it a lot and I teach classes with it, it's gotten a little bit looser in the mechanism. So I always found that I needed to put a shim, an extra layer of something on top. And it could vary depending on the style of embossing folder, how thick the layer that I was embossing was. So I have a variety of shims. For a while when we were getting stuff from Sizzix, they came with these little plastic sheets, and sometimes that's just all you need. It's just a little bit more. I mean, it's like copy paper thickness. And recently I've been using, this is a piece of grid paper that I laminated with some pretty heavy plastic laminate, and that's been enough for some folders. This is a piece of the white backing sheet that comes with a lot of DSP. That's often the right thickness. And then here's chipboard that comes with other kinds of DSP. And that's often the right thickness. So you're just going to have to play with your machine and your embossing folder and find the right sandwich. And you can tell what the right sandwich is because when you put it together, hopefully all of this changing stuff isn't making the focus go too crazy. But, so when you put it in your folder, remember you don't want to put it all the way up to the crease because the embossing pattern doesn't go all the way up there. So I put it on there, and that's going to go on. I know that this one, it engages. It doesn't just push through. The new 3D embossing folders, if you have just one acrylic plate, I can just push it right through. It doesn't actually engage the roller at all. But I also know that this one rolls through so easily, at least on this particular machine, that I get almost no impression, and it's not even. So I know that I want to have a little more pressure on there. And you notice I've turned my folder around because I always want to put it through hinge side first if possible. Sometimes you've got something sticking out, like you're doing in a whole card and you need the side sticking out. You can't do that, but whenever you can, it's a good idea because it puts less stress on that hinge and you won't have it breaking apart. Now, on some of I have another Big Shot, and it's a little tighter than this one, so this lighter weight is the right thickness. I think on this one is going to work a bit better. Like I said, this one's more loosey-goosey because it's the one I use all the time, but you can tell it's stiff, but it still goes through. I'm not having to really, really force it, even though you hear that ticking noise. And that should have made, yeah, that makes a nice, even impression. I don't know how well you can see that. Let me get the Big Shot out of here. Let's see what we can do to have you see that. It is subtle. So I will do what I can. Hi, Jennifer. Yeah, so that's going to go onto the card base. And you may notice when I do stuff, I'm looking to get an even margin around, and I'm just on this side, and I've barely got any glue actually making contact yet, and that's because I can nudge and position pretty well, and then I'm holding it with my right hand as I now go and I lay it down, and I'm still holding it over here so it's not squirming, but if I need to, I can always kind of nudge it a little bit, but that's pretty straight. If I just drop it on, it could go any which way. I like to be able to see the 3 edges so that I can see that it's pretty even to start with. Okay, and then this strip is just going to glue on as well. And again, I turn this so I can see where I'm going and get that lined up. That's going to go on. And I think wishing you a beautiful day, that could be a just because card. You could do it as a birthday card. Yeah, you know somebody's starting a new job or a new project. I just like to send them out to people. Okay, so there's all the basics. Let's go ahead and put this on the inside. Could have stamped another one of these flowers in there and colored it. Didn't bother. Can always go back and glue one in flat. That works too. I know, no naked insides, no naked envelopes, but I'm kind of bad with that. Hi, Wendy. Thanks for sharing it. Sometimes, this one's got so much so saffron on the front. I just wanted to not have the soft suede is so dark. I just wanted to have a little so saffron on the inside as well. Okay, so now we're going to put together the decorative part. Grab some glue dots. I'm going to grab some more glue dots. Sorry about that. So I'm just going to use my fingers and give just a little curvature to things before I put them together. You can use your bone folder. And I'm not using dimensionals on this. Just, I don't know, keeping it really easy to mail. But I'm going to use glue dots because they add just a little bit of height without, this is the end of the roll. Without making it pop up too much. So there's one glue dot on the back, one flower. There's that flower, and then, oh, that's right. So, very often my secret weapon in putting things together is Scotch tape, because it's hidden. Okay. So I'm just going to have those peeking out. Just a little bit of Scotch tape to hold it into place in the back. It's not a Stampin' Up! Product. I don't make any money off of it. But sometimes it's just the best thing, you know? So, I think, well, look at that. I come out just right. 3 glue dots. So one on each end leaf. middle of the flower. And I think that's going to be just right. Hold that on there. 1, 2, 3. And then I really like these little puffy, fuzzy flower centers. And these come with their own, it's really a dimensional on the back there. Pre-stuck, quick and easy. And voila. So that's really pretty simple card. With that stamp set and, whoops, sorry about that. Some of this Mosaic Mood Designer Series paper. Should we see about dressing up an envelope a little bit? Let's see what we got here. I actually haven't actually done this before. Oh, yeah. That seems like just the right size strip to put on there. So maybe we'll just go ahead and do that. Let me grab some snips. And remember, the rule of thumb is when you're gluing, always put the glue on the smaller piece. And technically, that flap is the smaller piece. So, put some glue around there. We'll do it that way. Going right up to the crease. Hello, it slid. Yeah. Yeah, the fuzzy flower centers, they would work well on the daisies as well. Yeah. Yeah, Wendy, I was saying this. I can't take credit for this card. This was by, oh, I've lost my paper again. An American demonstrator, Terry Gaines. And this card will be on my blog in the next few days, and I will definitely have a link to hers on there. She's got a great project tutorial sheet to download to make it. So it's, you know, this is not my brainchild. It's a good project from Terry. Yeah, so it's just real simple. You just cut out around here, and then you've got a decorated flap to your envelope. And it's kind of a nice way to use up that strip of Designer Series paper that I made when I cut out just that one row of the tiles. Nice if I could cut straight. There we go. There. How's that? Oh, hello again, Gladys. Yeah, the envelope and the card together. Yeah, it's always nice to do something with the envelope. The other thing I could do is add a strip there, or again, stamp with the flower on there. Yeah, why don't we go ahead and do that? And yeah, so you can do that. And that, and you can just leave it be, or you can color it in with blends. If we're being fancy, we can go ahead and do the same thing in inside of the card. It's quick and easy. It's silly not to do it, right? There we go. And I've got my blends here. Give it a quick color. I'm just hanging out with you guys. Yeah, it's nice to do the matchy-matchies. Sometimes I get so busy I don't take the time, but it's nice when they all work together. I have been, besides my classes, and besides getting classes started at the community center nearby, this past weekend I posted all of my retired product on a Facebook group here in Australia. And I was really kind of surprised at how quickly everybody jumped right on it. So I've been spending a lot of time invoicing and shipping and tracking payments and this weekend. But it's good because now I got nice money to buy lots of new things. So if you're just hoarding and lamenting not being able to get new stuff, you might consider offloading. People want it. So I was pleased with that. There we go. There's that one. And we'll do a little bit in here. Really doesn't matter if you do the dark or the light first. Again, I'm just doing very impressionistic, so I'm not so worried about super blendy. I don't know, did you guys, I know I talked about this last week some, but did you catch my pictures of Brisbane on my personal Facebook page? Had a great long weekend up there. Not this past weekend, but the weekend before. That was a lot of fun. Get away from Melbourne a little bit, get into some warmer and sunnier weather, and see some things that we don't have down here. There. Okay, so now we've got that and that. And there we go. You're looking around? Oh, to sell stuff? I'm sure you've got stuff you could let go, Nikki. Anyhow, focus. Hello. That might be better. I'm hoping to upgrade my phone and see if a newer generation camera will help with that. But there you go. There's my card for today. I'm not doing a full hour. I'll start at 10 o'clock pretty much straight up. I'm trying to be very punctual with that. And I go as long as I go. It may be as long as an hour. A lot of times it'll be shorter. So you can always watch on replay, and I'm working on getting them up on YouTube if that seems to work better for you. And you can please feel free to share that I'm going live. Feel free to share the replay videos if you think somebody would particularly like to see something. I'm working on building my following and therefore my business here in Australia. And yeah, I like viewers from wherever. So and I love interactions. If you have a technique or a stamp set or something you would particularly like to see me work with, drop me a line, either private message through Facebook, or you can email me or you can send me a text message if you're on an iDevice, nhetker@mac.com or me.com. You can do it through message or email. It all works and gets to me here at, you're not doing an international text message that way. So, yeah, I'm very reachable. And I would love to hear from you and do anything that you particularly want me to do. If I've got it, I'll play with it. So, that's it for this week. And hope you're following my blog. And I'm also on Instagram and the whole bit. So, yeah, I will catch you online somewhere between now and next week. And then I will see you back here live. Thanks a lot. Bye.